Hey guys, Mumford Kid here, back again. How's everybody doing on their end? Hope everybody's geared up for their weekend. Hope everybody had a pretty good, safe work week. Everybody's chill. Everybody's calm. If you're going out to the movies to go see any certain movie, have a good time. Yeah. But I know I'm kind of late with this, especially on my main channel. But I already talked about this with my pack, my team, the YouTubers Core. Check them out. Subscribe. You know you won't be disappointed. But yeah, I'm still here to give my thoughts and kind of my reactions to the DC Rebirth. Remember, I told you guys, when the titles were announced and the creative teams were announced, I would still give my reaction. And this is kind of now the fifth time I'm doing this because I recorded it the first time, I tried to upload it. YouTube only uploaded about 8 minutes. Tried to upload it again, same thing. Again. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just record this thing over. So whenever this goes up, yeah, this will be like the fifth time I've tried to put this up. Uh, yeah. But I've been getting messages out of the woodwork. Chris, yo, what's your thoughts on the DC Rebirth? Chris, yo, what's going on? How come the Omni Geek High Lord is not talking about this? Are you losing your edge? Fuck that, I'm not. I ain't losing shit, son. I just wanted to, I had already did it, but now, once again, as I explained before. So here I am doing it again. So, we got to see a live stream of what DC Rebirth is all about. What are the titles? Who is writing them? So I'm here to kind of give that to you guys. I'm here to also tell you what's going on my pull list, what can see me review on my comic book review channel, what you won't see being reviewed. The bottom line is you're going to see my reaction. And yeah, there may be a little bit of a, uh, I don't know. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't come out, but Hurricane may come out if I start thinking about a certain person. But I'm going to pray that he doesn't, because if he does, oh shit, I got to get out the way. Yeah. But here we go. So I'm not going to do this in any particular order, but what I'm going to say is the press conference was pretty damn good. I enjoyed it. But when I was looking at the titles and they were announcing all the titles, I saw myself gearing up more for the Superman titles more than the Bat Family titles. And that's no disrespect to Superman at all. I respect the godfather of all superpowered heroes. Um, but I've never had a huge collection of Superman comics. I just stuck to the self-titled Superman comics, but never went into Action and all the others, Adventures of Superman, things like that. But this time around, I'm actually geared up for every title for them. So I got the list on my phone here. So I'm just gonna do the list of the titles, not the Rebirth #1 and things like that. I'm just gonna go down the list and uh, start it off. So let's start with the Bat Family stuff. Okay, let's start off with that. Yeah. So Batman now will be written by uh, Tom King, artwork by David Finch. Yeah, and Mikael Janin. Those would be the artists, and that will be. So the way Tom King described it to me was, it's more of a tale of the mindset of Batman. Like, what makes him not flip out and kind of become what he is trying to keep Gotham, from becoming, the criminals of Gotham. Him coming them like them. So I like that approach. I was like, okay, that sounds pretty good. That sounds interesting. And David Finch's artwork. David Finch on the artwork of Batman. Hell yeah. I'm a huge David Finch fan. I love his artwork. He's one of my favorite artists. and his dark, gritty style of artistry goes perfect with Batman and the storytelling. And I like Tom King. Tom King is a very good writer. I liked him definitely when he was writing Grayson, and found out some things about him that he worked in one of the agencies of the government. I think it was the CIA or one of them. Correct me on that one, guys. But I was like, okay. So I can see why Grayson was so secretive, and it stayed true to the nature of being a spy. I was like that. But yeah, but bottom line is, yeah, Batman will be on my poll. That will be there. Move on to Detective Comics, and what makes it cool is that Detective Comics will be going back to its original numbering. So that will be like 950 something, or correct me again on that one, guys. But James Tilian the fourth will be writing it, and I like Tilian. He's good. Sometimes he can be off and on, but I'm cool with it. And Eddie Barros and Alvaro Martinez will be doing the artwork. Now, what I like about this is it's not just a Batman solo title. It's a title featuring a team. That team will be Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown as Spoiler, uh, Clayface, that was the big tripper there, and Cassandra King now going under her new persona called Orphan. Really? I don't like that. I would have stuck with Black Bat if that was the case, even though there is a Black Bat. But and it's going to be led by Batman and Katie Kane, Batwoman. Tilian, I'm telling you right now, do not fuck up Batwoman this time, because DC, you already fucked her over once before, and pause on that one, because I don't mean it in a good way. I mean it in a bad way. You fucked her over, and I'm hoping this one will showcase Katie being not just kind of subpar the Bruce, but as an equal to him, but maybe some, kind of tension between each other in terms of leadership. But keep Katie who she is, and just don't fuck her over. Because I was loving Batwoman for New 52, especially when Blackwell was writing it. And then once Azzarello got it, I think it was Azzarello. I think it was, or one of them guys, I'm forgetting his name. They just fucked her over big time. But yeah, looking forward to that. So that's definitely going to be in the poll. Batgirl, written by Hope Larson, and artwork by Raphael. I don't want to Albuquerque. I don't want to butcher the name. Sorry. Um, I dropped Batgirl for New 52 once Gail left that book. And I told her, I tweeted to her, I said, Gail, I'm going to try my best to stay on this book even though you left. I'm going to, you know how I am with you. You know I'm very loyal to your work. And I just felt like nobody could capture the essence of what you did for Barbara Gordon, Babs. So I said, I'm going to give it. I'm going to give the title. I'm going to give this new team 4 issues. If I don't like where it's going, I'm dropping it. And I did not like where it went, so I dropped it. And I never looked back. Now, once I heard Miss Larson talk about what they had planned for Barbara, that she's going to go on like a journey to improve herself, taking her all over the Far East Asia and things like that, I was like, this could go somewhere. I may like this again. I might jump back on Batgirl. I still don't like that fucking stupid costume. I don't like it. Why can't she go back to her old costume? I just don't like the whole Laker color, hot neon purple look. It just, to me, it just does not scream Batgirl. It screams bleh. And that's just my opinion. But yeah, this may get me to jump back on. So, I may give this another chance. Give it another chance. Next up is Nightwing. Yeah, my boy Dick Grayson is going back to his alter ego that made him who he is, Nightwing. He's going back. I've always said this. Nightwing, Dick Grayson, is probably one of the best evolved characters in comics. We got to see this guy from a little boy to a young man to a man to being Batman for a short while, which I loved. And now he went to being a spy. Now he's coming back to being Nightwing. How fucking cool is that? Yeah. Just making you wonder, why does he go back? And Tim Seeley is going to be doing it. Marcus 2 is going to be doing the artwork. I like Marcus 2's artwork. And Javier Fernandez is going to be doing, I think I'm saying her name right, Mr. Fernandez is going to be doing the artwork. And in this, the Dick is going to get a new mentor. The first arc they said is going to be called Being Better Than Batman or something like that. I got a friend that don't like that title for the first arc, but I'm a huge Dick Grayson fan. I'm very loyal to that character, and I stuck with him when he was the spy. I'm just glad to see him back as Nightwing, and with the original coloring too. It's not the red and black, which I didn't mind, but it's back to being the blue and black, which is great. And I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, of course that's going on my poll. All-Star Batman, written by Scott Snyder, and there's going to be a different guest star of artists from John Romita Jr., Sean Murphy, Paul Pope, people like that. Unfortunately, guys, I had my fill of Snyder with Batman. I wish him nothing but the best, and it doesn't mean I hate Snyder. It's just that I've had my fill. I've gotten what I wanted from Snyder as Batman, with his Batman. He says with this title, it's to really, he's going to focus on different of the Batman rogues. All I hope is that he fixes some of the characters, like one of them he says that I saw the silhouette for, Mr. Freeze. I fucking hated what New 52 did to my favorite Batman rogue, Mr. Freeze. They made him just like a stereotypical Batman villain with problems, and I'm just like, no. Mr. Freeze has always been that sympathetic villain that you'd like, I don't like what he's doing, but I can understand a little, I feel his pain. When New 52 showed his origin, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, yeah, he became a stalker, he became possessive, he killed his mother. I'm like, now he's just a stereotypical other same villain like a Joker or a Riddler or something like that with mental problems. I was just like, you know what? No. So I wish the best for Mr. Snyder, but no, I'm not going to be picking this up. The next one being Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. Julia Benson and Shauna Benson. Claire Rowe is doing the artwork, and this focuses on kind of the core, you could say the trinity of the Birds of Prey. Batgirl, Dinah, My Canary, and Helena Bertinelli, aka Huntress. I believe they're doing Huntress again. And this focuses on the team. From what they said was someone else is going around calling themselves Oracle. This makes Barbara not like that. And she wants to investigate this because she was Oracle. So somebody else now is calling themselves Oracle. And then there's also a new crime boss coming into Gotham that is using metahuman assassins. So I'm like, you know what? I was hoping this was going to be Gale's jumping back on. But the Bensons don't come from writing comics. They come from, I believe, TV. But I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the feel for what these girls have. So I'm going to give it a shot. So yeah, on the poll. All right. So let's move on to the Superman stuff. Action Comics. Dan Jurgens, Patrick Zirch, Tyler Kirkman, and Steven Segova is going to be doing the artwork. And this is also going back to its original number. So Action Comics will be up to issue 1000. How cool is that? All right. So this is going to feature pre-Flashpoint, pre-52 Superman, alongside Clark Kent and Lex Luthor, who calls himself Superman now. Dan Jurgens had me already with Lois and Clark. That's my Superman. Fucking love that. So when they announced that he's going to continue with that, and this old 52 or pre 52 Superman still going as the Man of Steel, I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. So damn right, yeah, this will be the first time ever, guys, that I will be putting Action Comics will be in my collection. So, and I have a huge collection, but yes, Action Comics, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing what Mr. Jurgens has in store for us. Damn good writer, and a damn good Superman writer too. He knows how to write Superman, and I love that. So yes. Next up, we have Superman, the self-titled Superman, and this is going to be written by Peter Tomasi, Patrick Gleason. Patrick Gleason also do the writing as well as Doug M.V.K. I'm going to continue this because this is the title this was the stuff I was reading. I was always reading the self-titled Superman when I got into comics and started collecting. So yeah, I'm going to continue this. I like Peter Tomasi. Once again, he's another writer for me that can be off and on sometimes, but I don't hate his work. He gives it all. And so we move on to the new Superman, which is written by Gene Lin Yang and Victor Bogovich is doing the artwork. This title right here, when Mr. Yang came out and started explaining it, this right here, I was like, you already had me with a Superman of another ethnicity, another culture. You already had me with that. The fact is, this is basically a story of a teenage young man, a Chinese teenager by the name of Kenji Kong, who lives in Shanghai, who gains a portion of Superman's powers. And so it's going to be focused on that. So we're going to see a Superman of another color, another race, another ethnicity, another culture. And it's also, Mr. Yang talked about how it's going to, he starts out being kind of a dick. He's kind of a douche. A guy that you want to just punch. But over time, he starts to change because of the power, and so maybe the essence of Superman in him is changing him for the better. So I was already like, okay, I want to read this. This has me interested. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this and what they're going to be throwing. Hopefully, what this means, especially for Mr. Yang, is we get to see not just this character, but the other Asian DC characters that are not in other books. For example, this would be the perfect opportunity for Mr. Yang to use the Chinese characters of DC that we don't get enough of, like the Great 10. How about that? Yeah, seeing that would be great to see this character interact with those characters. August General and Iron, all those characters like that. I'm not even going to go on the different names, but the Great 10, an underrated team, And we don't get enough of that. And I would think Mr. Yang would be great to use those characters. So, hold on. Let's see. All right. Next up, we have Superwoman. We don't know a lot about this title. All we know is Philip just Jamiz. I hope I'm saying it, Jamez is writing it and doing the artwork as well. Now, a lot of us are thinking this is Lucy Lang. Um, the kind of the if you've seen the image of her and the Harrier jets behind her, it kind of gives away that maybe she's military, and this could be Lucy again. And once again, this Superman title just had me so interested. I'm like, okay, so yeah, wonderful. Next up, Supergirl, Steve Orlando and Brian Ching is going to be doing the artwork. Once again, I was reading Supergirl in the New 52. I think I dropped it after Brian Greene finished wrapping up his Silver Banshee arc. And I kind of dropped it from there. I was just like, I'm not really feeling it too much anymore. But I was kept by friends telling me what's going on with Kara. And this one will focus on Kara once again. And especially in the sense, the fact that now Kara is, you know what I'm saying, her show's doing so well, and it's like, okay, we need some Supergirl. We need the Girl of Steel. So, the fact is, she's still going to be a national city, and the villain in this is going to be Cyborg Superman. But here's the kicker right here: Cyborg Superman is not Jor-El, Zor-El, and I'm like, her daddy is Cyborg Superman, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, on the poll once again, I'm telling you, yeah. Um, so let's move on to the other members. Like this title right here. When I heard who was writing it, Wonder Woman, the godmother of all superpowered heroines. That's what I call her. When I heard who was coming back to write this character, when I heard the name Greg Rucka, I was eating food. I was at a restaurant eating. I was on my lunch break watching this. And when I saw him come out, this was me. Yeah, that was me. I had a nerdgasm to the 10th power because I never thought Roka was going to come back to DC. I thought he had this bad falling out with them, and it was almost like on both sides of the coin, like screw you, I'll never work for you again. And to see him come back and write for Diana again, first of all, I loved his first run, loved it so much, great run. And I recommend anybody who's never read his first run of Wonder Woman, check it out for yourself. You won't be disappointed. I loved it. And to see who is going to be drawing with him, that Aussie herself, Nicola Scott, I was like, oh yeah. I love Nicola Scott's artwork. That Aussie can draw. She is a bad mamma jamma. Yeah. And I like the twist that they're going to do. They're going to tell it from two perspectives. They're going to do the even numbers, I think, are going to be, odd numbers are going to be the present day stuff. Even number, I believe, is going to be the, like Wonder Woman Year 1. I'm all for that. But yeah, that was me when I heard he was coming back. And Other than that, we have the Trinity. Because I was wondering, is this man going to be writing? And the Trinity, of course, we all know the Trinity. And Francis Manipool is going to be writing it, drawing it, along with Clayman. I love Clayman's artwork too. And of course, it's going to focus on, so both of those, like I said, bam, on the list. So we move on to more of the Justice League members. And Dan Abnett, another guy I follow and love his work, is going to continue to write Aquaman, along with Brad Walker, Jesus Monroe, and Phil Renos, who is also, I believe that's his name, who's going to be doing, those are going to be the artists on the book. And I love what Mr. Abnett had to say about what Arthur is going to be trying to do now, in terms of building like a bridge between the Atlanteans and the surface dwellers, taking Mira to the restaurant where he had clam chowder. I'm like, all kinds of stuff like that. I am so open for it. And the fact that Manta's coming back, yeah. Dan Abnett, good stuff. Flash, Josh Williamson, and Carmine. I'm not even going to try to pronounce those names because I'll probably butcher them. The Flash. When Mr. Williamson, I'm a fan of his writing because I like his writing. His writing is really good. Some of his work I've read besides would be Captain Midnight for Dark Horse. Good stuff. That was a good run he had there. That was really good. But the fact that him talking about how much he begged Dan Dilio, sorry, not a big fan of his, to write Flash, and he kept getting turned down, and he kept pushing and pushing it. I was like, I like this guy's, tenacity. And the fact is now that he says that there's going to be a huge, like, Speed Force storm, and people are going to get struck by the lightning, and so there's going to be new speedsters coming, and some are going to go this way, some are going to go that way, and even there's going to be a new villain. Barry is going to take on this role of being a mentor to these young speedsters. I like that idea. Why not? If you're a new speedster in the DC universe, why wouldn't you go to the Scarlet Speedster to mentor you, kind of give you a 411 on, Speedster 101 on being a speedster? Now, I like that. However, the villain looks cool, but the name, Godspeed, I ain't feeling that. Other than that, everything else is good. So, of course, thumbs up. Green Lanterns, Sam Humphries, Robinson Roca, and Adrian Safa. I hope I'm saying it right. Green Lantern. This will focus on 2 Green Lanterns. 2 rookies, in a sense, they say. 2 lanterns of a different color. Creed, race. Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, aka former Power Ring, now will be a lantern, and it'll focus on them. And when Mr. Humphrey, who's worked for Marvel, said Lethal Weapon meets space, I was like, yeah, I'm hooked. That's right there. There you go. I'm good. I'm good. The fact that these 2 are gonna be the current protectors of Sector 2814. I'm all for that. Putting the spotlight on other lanterns outside of just Hal. And that they're going to be facing the Red Lanterns. Ooh, okay. Let's see what they got. Let's see what these 2 got. But it does make me wonder, with the Red Lanterns, will we still see Rancor, the first human Red Lantern? I'm looking forward to that. Now, moving on to Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Robert Venditti, Evan Van Schreiber is going to be doing artwork. This will focus on Hal, John, Guy, Kyle, and the other Lanterns. Venditti, sometimes I don't understand sometimes because how he has problems writing space stuff, but he writes Exo Man of War so good, and I'm like, wait, how do you do it here so well, but you screw it up here in Lanterns? Even Van Schreiber's artwork is a plus, but if this is where you're gonna see the other Lanterns, especially the other humans, I'm not saying it's a nay, but I'll see where this goes. Yeah, there you go. It's not a definite yay. Justice League, written by Brian Hitch, Tony Daniels doing the artwork, and Fernando Passarin will be also artwork. And of course, the team, of course, will be pretty much the same lineup Jeff Johns had. But besides that, the Superman will be, pre Flashpoint Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, and both Green Lanterns will be on the team. So they're getting 2 Green Lanterns. However, now, having said that, this is another title where I will take it. I will see where it goes because sometimes Brian Hitch can have a hiccup at times. But Tony Daniels' artwork is great. However, I feel DC, you really kind of messed up with the lineup. This could have been a perfect opportunity for you guys to not go with the familiar, what the lineup of the movie is going to be, in a sense. Yeah, I know there's a movie coming out and you want to, come on, it's business. They're looking at it, marketing. Come on, it is. But no Martian Manhunter? Really? I would have put John on this team big time. No magic-based character on his team? What the hell? Like, hopefully there are going to be more members, but if not, this lineup could have been much better. Very much better. Titans. Dan Abbott, Brett Booth. Not really big on Brett Booth's artwork. I just don't like it sometimes. But Dick Grayson, Donna Troy, Arsenal, and Garth, I'm hooked. I'm loving what Abbott is doing in Titan Hunt. And to see Donna back in a up-to-date version of her classic look. Yeah! Alright, you know what I'm saying? Those are some of the Titans that I grew up with. Those are them. Those are some of them right there. So, being loyal to them is very important to me. Alright. Cyborg, written by John Sepper, Will Conrad, and Paul Pelliter will do artwork. Now, John Sepper, Will Conrad, you probably heard those names before. Those are the same guys that worked on the Spider-Man the animated series back in the 90s, Static Shock, all those shows like that. They're coming over to write comics now. And I loved his pitch for Cyborg, and I was really hooked on it. I'm not even really going to have to go into detail, but just the fact of Cyborg, just what Cyborg has to deal with, just put yourselves in Victor Stone's shoes for a while. You understand. So yeah, I was hooked. Justice League of Justice League of America, I have no idea. They still have no idea who's writing it. And I'm wondering if that's just going to be another team that Luthor is going to be leading. I'm hoping it's not just, and if I just hope it's not. Teen Titans, written by Ben Percy, Joe Boy Mercer, and this team will be Damian Wayne, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, and Wally West's Kid Flash. Not a definite, like, not a, yeah, it's going on my pool. It's more of a, I'll give it a shot. But if I don't like it, because I'm not, Percy's kind of pissing me off, kind of, and hopefully maybe he can fix it with Titans, fix my views with him with Titans. Because other than that, no. And Green Arrow, Ben Percy's going to be doing that. No, thank you. I like Green Arrow, but Percy's still writing it. I'm done with that. You can't even say he's getting the goatee again. Who the fuck cares? I don't care about that. Does it look like I care about him with this goatee again? Ollie can be goddamn bald, and I wouldn't mind that. I care about is how you gonna write the character. And right now, you failed with me when you didn't do jack shit with Mia Dearden and turned Ollie into a werewolf and all this other bullshit. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm done with that. Yeah. Deathstroke, written by Christopher Priest. I'm a big Christopher Reeve fan. I love, especially his Black Panther run. Yeah, but even him, he won't really get me. He can sell me on Deathstroke. I like Slade. Don't get me wrong, guy, but it's not grabbing me. It's not really grabbing me to what's going to happen. Harley Quinn, the same team still writing it. Yeah, I'm still on board. Hellblazer, Simon Oliver. Look, I feel that y'all DC you're really pushing Constantine. I get it, but this should have been a different magical based character. This could have been a Zatanna book, for God's sake. Even you could have even continued Doctor Fate. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Red Hood and Outlaw, Scott Liddell. Fuck that. All right. Suicide Squad, Robbie Williams, Jim Lee, Philip Tan, Killer Croc, Deadshot, Boomerang. This is basically, this is basically them promoting, the movie. Look, never really was a big reader of the Suicide Squad. I know who they are, or do enough to know who they are and things like that, but wasn't the biggest reader of their books. I had a cousin that was, so that's where I kind of got my knowledge most of it from. Blue Beetle by Keith Giffen, Scott Cullen, Ted Cord coming back. Fuck yeah. And mentoring Jaime Reyes. Good. I'm not the biggest Scott Cullen fan. I just don't like his artwork at times. A little too cartoony for me sometimes. But DC fucked over Jaime with their previous run with the Blue Beetle. Hopefully they get it right with this one. So yeah. Super Sons, Chris Burns and Dennis Culver. This will focus on the Sons of Batman and Robin. I don't know. That's Batman Beyond, Dan Jurgens. This will focus on Terry McGinnis. Look, I know everybody wanted Terry McGinnis back, and still, to me, I'm kind of done with Batman Beyond in comic form. I would love to see a season 4 of the series, or a season 4 comic series. That'd be great. And so that's about it, basically. And they recently announced that a Commandy book is coming out. I'm forgetting who's writing it. But honestly, guys, those you saw me say yay to some, nay to a lot. But I'm more hooked on the Superman stuff. Yes. And I'm shooting my mouth off for God knows how long. And my fucking God. Okay, yeah. Just looked at the time. I shot my mouth off long enough. However, and oh my God, he's not coming out. If I talk about this, but he'd kill me if I didn't do this. So just please don't come out. But DC. Oh, DC, DC, DC. I noticed there wasn't a name on that launch. A name on there. That got me. Not just the name, but there's a lot of characters missing. And there better be some explaining. And Hurricane would kill me if I didn't do this. So I'm gonna give you a warning right now. So, okay, gotta make sure I keep it calm, because if I get too riled up, then he's coming out. But Louisville Slugger. Yeah, I got this from Yankee Stadium. DC. No Gale. No Gale. No Gale. Okay, gotta keep it check. He's not coming out. Rest. 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 There you go. Sleep. Sleep. No Gale. Really? Really? I better hear that she's working on something in the future. I don't care what it is. Because if I don't, we're going to have a problem. And a certain someone will fly out to LA. Well, no, he won't, because flying is not too good for you guys, especially Dildo. He'll probably drive. Nope, driving's too good for him too. He's probably just hitchhike, but he's gonna find you guys, and he will take whatever he feels and show you just exactly how he feels about that. But I can't let him get too wrought up, because, like I said, he keeps another personality in check, which I'm fighting to get rid of. And this is a personality you don't want to have. And I'm keeping in check. Oh, you're letting me talk? Okay. So he's letting me talk. Am I doing good? I am? Okay, good. Thanks. What? A little more bass? I did that already. You want me to... Okay. He says he wants me to stick the bat again. And look into... You said give a mean grill? Mean mug? Okay, mean mug. Mean mug. All right. Bat. How's that? That was good? All right, cool. Yeah, that's Hurricane over there talking to me. Bottom line is, yeah, we're a little disappointed, me and Hurricane here. We're a little disappointed that there was no Gale. No Gale. No Gail Simone. No characters, like I said, no Zatanna, no Martian Manhunter, no JSA. No, hopefully we'll hear stuff like that in the future. But the fact remains the same, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully this is be a good for DC. This is be good. Will people will get what they want. Now, there are titles that I'm gonna definitely put on my poll, and there are titles I'm not. And no disrespect to those writers. No right. Well, right. Yeah. Okay. Let me repeat that. No disrespect to some of the writers, excluding Scott Liddell, but I just don't feel a lot of them. Hellblazer, Deathstroke, Suicide Squad, Green Arrow, Super Sons, uh, stuff like that. I'm not really feeling. Um, just no Gale. No Gale. You're hurt. I'm a little hurt. Cut the camera, man. Yeah, look, guys, this is Mama and Kid. I'm gonna see you guys next time. Just keep it real. One love. Cut the camera, please. Cut the camera. I gotta go, man.